Hey everybody, and welcome to Don't Copy That Floppy. I'm your host Lex.
I'm your other host Dan, and I'm trying to get the chat working. We're a video game news podcast. I'm jet lagged.
Dan has just returned from a lovely trip to
Glorious
Japan.
country of Nippon.
Yeah.
And it was very nice. Well, I'm very tired.
But we are a video game news podcast, broadcasting live on Fridays, every Friday, unless Dan's on vacation, from
That
7
won't happen again for a very long time.
from 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find us on all sorts of social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, Steam, YouTube, and iTunes. And we are now on Patreon. So, if you want to check us out on Patreon, so you can give us some support. There's all sorts of cool reward tiers. You can vote on stories we do week to week. You can get custom sexy voicemail
Yeah.
from Dan.
Nobody's gotten it yet.
Nobody wants it for some reason.
I'm ready to do it.
But yeah, so it is July 8th, and we have all sorts of fun news from this week, and a little that's from a little before this week, because our
We didn't have a show last week.
we didn't have a show last week. Also, our last two episodes were focused primarily on E3.
Yeah.
So we didn't cover other stuff.
So we have some odds and ends from the past couple of weeks to talk about. Odds and ends such as this story that's actually from this week, so it's not an odd and end.
Oh, well.
This story is from Polygon from July 2nd that tells us that Kickstarter, since we usually start, if we have Kickstarter stories to talk about, we usually start the show with them.
Oh, we do,
We'll
that's
start
true,
the
yeah.
show with this one.
Alright.
Kickstarter is seeing a steep decline in money pledged to video games in 2016.
Oh, no.
Says analysis. According to analysis.
Analysis can never be wrong.
Analysis is never wrong. Some people have pointed to this saying that the lack of big ticket projects is a big problem. There's not a lot of games that are asking for quite a bit or have a lot of clout behind them that makes people want to give more to them. For example, Mighty Number 9, in spite of all of its difficulties, was a pretty big deal. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night made like $5.5 million.
Definitely.
Shenmue 3, which had like the backing of Sony, made quite a lot of money.
Pushed exactly a year ago at last year's E3.
Yes.
Wow.
But that is not entirely the issue. Because in spite of all of that, in the first half of 2016, there has only been 8.2 million pledged to video games, whereas in the first half and second half of 2015, there was 20 million pledged to games about. So that's a pretty big drop-off.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're looking at a pretty high amount of drop-off on that. More than can be explained by just, there's not a lot of interesting projects. Someone from Kickstarter, I believe, one part of the analysis also said that the total number of video game projects on Kickstarter is also down, which means that that's largely affected by the fact that there are way fewer junk projects, which, projects that were put up there that have no money pledged towards them because they're inane is basically what we're getting at here. There's a lot fewer of those, which is good, because perhaps that means that the notion that Kickstarter projects are not as easy to get funded or get made than some people think is starting to sink in,
Yeah.
both with developers and with backers, which isn't a bad thing, because people being more discerning about their Kickstarter projects might help it still be successful in the future.
Totally.
Even if they're going through, a downswing right now. Because if you get more people saying, okay, we can't just put any crap up there, there needs to be some modicum of quality here, then you're going to get more quality games. And if you're showing a more quality game, more people are going to back your quality-looking game. So, we can hope that that's the direction this goes in. Because Kickstarter has we've gotten some interesting stuff out of it. Mighty Number 9 finally came out. Speaking of Kickstarter games, we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't played it. I'm probably not gonna, but we can talk about it a little bit. But we'll get to that.
But don't you want to cry like an anime nerd on prom night?
I do that every night. every single night. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on this and see if maybe any big projects for Kickstarter show up in the second half of 2016.
I'm curious as to whether people are starting to lose interest in Kickstarter as a general thing, and
that's possible,
and not necessarily that people are moving on to a different site, because I don't think there's another big crowdfunding site that has like made waves recently, but I think that just the novelty of crowdfunding something, the general populace may be kind of getting bored with.
Yeah, and some of the hiccups of some of these game developments have certainly not helped.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think that I don't know if this is the case, but I can totally see this being the case, is if the general populace were like, oh, Kickstarter, we'll fund stuff on Kickstarter, and then the people who are developing this project won't have to deal with all the annoyingness of like going through the industry and all of the slowdown that causes and the creative edits and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think people are starting to realize that even if you crowdfund something, it still takes a long time, and there are still creative compromises made with it, just like if it was being made in the regular industry.
Absolutely.
And people might be getting disillusioned with that.
Absolutely. Because that's the unfortunate reality of just making a video game.
Or making anything.
Or making anything, really. Yeah, that's true. Making movies as well.
Yeah.
Oh man, I watched some movies on that airplane from Japan, to and from. We gotta talk about those when we do our next little, special thing. Hey, if you want to hear me talk about movies I watched on an airplane...
Oh, what a tease.
...to Japan and from Japan, then give us some Kickstarter money and you can get access to our special exclusive podcast where we talk about other stuff.
I believe the tier for that is if you're paying $10 or more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because $5 or more you get to vote on stories, $10 or more you get access to additional content.
That sounds about right.
I think we basically do an additional podcast each month that's about non-video game things.
Yeah. You want to hear me talk about The Hateful Eight? I'll talk about it.
Oh, hey, I just watched that the other night too.
Did you?
Yeah.
This is perfect.
This is fantastic.
Next, you people give us some money, you get to hear us talk about this movie we both just watched.
Oh my god. When that guy's head exploded?
Dude, don't even talk about it yet. Don't even give him a teaser. You gotta work for it. Anyway, let's get to our big story this week.
Oh,
I would call this our big story.
Oh, I think so too. This was the thing that I thought was just like a little news story, but the more I read, the more I'm like, oh no, there's actually like a ton to this.
It has gone on. It started because the first article we have here is from June 23rd, which is about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the second article we have is from July 4th, which was very recently.
Yeah, so we didn't get to cover it on June 23rd. Because we were doing E3 stuff, we were doing vacations, all that kind of thing. So I posted it to our social media, and I wanted to cover it on the show. And then July 4th, I was like, "Oh, there's an update on this. We should talk about that too." So I threw it in there. But then when I was actually going through and reading the stories more in depth, I realized, oh my gosh, there's so much to this.
There's a lot going on here.
If you want, after we cover this, if you want to watch a video that's just an overview of the whole thing, there's a 13-minute video by this on this YouTube channel called H3H3, and it pretty much sums up everything.
Yeah.
But I would
that's how I got caught up on the whole thing.
Yeah, I would still recommend, though, reading the articles if you have time, because they're super interesting. Both of the articles we're citing are from Polygon, because they know what's up. And the one from June 23rd is entitled Counter-Strike player files suit against Valve over illegal gambling surrounding CSGO.
Gambling, quote unquote.
Quote unquote. So he's suing Valve. That's important to note. Although I think some of these other sub companies are caught up in that as well. But basically, for those who are the uninitiated, CSGO is
Counter-Strike.
It's Counter-Strike.
It's a PC shooting, or it's a PC team shooting game.
Yeah. It's like what Call of Duty is? Okay, so it's like that.
It's like that, but faster. And League of Legends, how the community's terrible and everyone's a douchebag.
They're working on it.
It's like that.
Yeah.
It was like that before that existed.
Yeah.
Lots of hacking. Lots of shit talking.
Yeah, we've reported, I think, even though before we started doing our E3 coverage a couple weeks ago, we were reporting on how there were mods that were happening where people were getting like aim assist stuff.
Yeah,
and just all sorts of things to ruin the game experience for everybody.
It's just a craptastic mess of shooting game whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
if you like,
we don't have a very high opinion of Counter-Strike, I guess.
It's like Call of Duty without any of the regulation.
Yeah.
And with a mouse instead of a controller.
Whoa. PC Master Race.
All that perfect aiming.
Oh, so perfect.
Giant
Razer mouse.
One of the other things that one of the other things that happens with this game is there is a store in which you can buy items.
Yes.
But the idea is that there's a lot of items with custom skins. And these skins could be created by players and all sorts of stuff, and they can sell them, just sort of like how Valve was like when they tried to introduce paid mods to Elder Scrolls. A little bit like that. So players can make these skins and then they can sell them, and it's so cool. There are also chests that you can get keys to open, and then you can like find the different skins.
Because of course you can.
Like in Overwatch.
Just like in Overwatch. Oh man, I had such good luck with Overwatch skins before I left on my trip. Oh man. I opened some good boxes.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think Overwatch pretty blatantly lifted that from CSGO.
Probably.
Yeah. Because it works really well from CSGO because people love it. They love getting their skins.
There's a certain tantalization that happens when you do it, in like Overwatch at least, where they've set it up so you have your little box, your loot box, and you hold down the X button to open it. I've just outed myself as someone who plays this on PS4 like a filthy console player.
Oh no.
So, because I don't want to deal with the PC community of this game, because I imagine it's way worse. And then you hold down the button, and when you hold it down for like a few seconds, and the box like shakes, and then the little hitches go off, and the lid bursts open, and the discs fly up in the air, and you can see what color they are, so you know like already, what rarity of things did I get?
Oh man!
And then they all fall down and go like duh, and the music goes like duh, 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 with whatever you got. It's very like it really appeals to the senses. There's this tangible feeling of like, ooh, things!
That reminds me of the way you open a new pack in Hearthstone.
Yeah!
Right. Which makes sense because Blizzard makes both of those games, so they know what they're doing.
They've perfectly engineered the satisfaction of opening these things.
The excitement.
Yeah, whereas even if you don't end up getting anything cool, there's this good feeling of just opening it.
Yeah.
So you want to open more.
Yeah.
So you want to give them $50 to open 100 of these.
So getting back to CSGO. If you want to get a key to get a loot box, those are like $250, I think. Also, you can sell skins that you have already acquired for money on the Steam auction house thing.
Yes.
Same place where you can sell Steam trading cards that you get when you buy games.
Which means that aren't these weapon skins just the perfect collateral for gambling?
They could be.
They might be.
They might be. So, then a bunch of third-party sites decided to start popping up in which you could place different skins that you have up as collateral for bets.
Yep.
And for some reason...
To bet on pro matches.
Yeah, to bet on pro matches.
Yeah.
And for some reason... Valve did not stop people from doing this. They can just do it and it's fine. I don't know why there isn't a safeguard on that, but yeah, so that's happening. I think Valve might get some sort of cut from that, and maybe that's why they want it to happen. But these sites got very popular. According to I guess it was a Forbes article or something, some sort of business site article. No, it was Bloomberg. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. It's $2.3 billion in 2015.
Wow!
Yeah, that's how much money was going down.
That is
on
a
these
lot
sites.
of money.
It's a lot of money. So it is
Kickstarter. Take notes.
I know, right? Just gamble. Just put gambling.
Gamble on which things are going to make it.
So I know what some of you might be thinking. Hey, wait, isn't gambling illegal?
Yes.
It turns out it is. It is.
Especially when minors can do it.
Yeah. So, but a lot of the time what these sites would say and what Valve would say is, hey, they're not actually putting their money down the site. They're just putting these custom skins down on the site, which they can then go onto Steam and sell for real money immediately.
In which they may have paid real money to get.
Yeah. Yep.
How is it any different than, like, casino chips?
It's not any different.
It's the same
I
thing.
mean, they look dumber than casino chips. I think that's the difference.
You get a stupid Skittles knife.
Oh my god. I don't know why people would want these. They look so dumb.
They look really... Well, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. You know what? I could just said some stuff. I'm just not even going to say anything.
You're not gonna...
I'm just not even going to say
Alright,
it.
well, let's move on then.
Let's move on. Not even going to say
So
it.
a player recently has decided to file a lawsuit against Valve, saying, like, hey man, this is gambling.
Because it is.
Because it obviously is.
It totally is.
Let's see. So, do we have any good quotes we want to lift from this article? Because there's a liquid market to convert each gun or knife back into cash. Laying a bet in skins is essentially the same as betting with real money, as we said.
Yes.
Let's see. Oh, here's a casino chip reference. In sum, Valve owns the league, sells the casino chips, and receives a piece of the casino's income stream through foreign websites in order to maintain the charade that Valve is not promoting and profiting from online gambling. Like a modern-day Captain Renault from Casablanca. That's a nice reference you threw in there. Yeah.
It's classic.
Most of the people in CSGO gambling economy are teenagers and under 21. It makes Valve's and the other defendants' actions even more unconscionable. And that's true because lots of, like, 13-year-olds are playing this game. They love it.
Because who else would play it?
Yeah. So this is
who else would want these weapon skins?
So this is Michael John McLeod.
Yes.
Clan McLeod. Who has filed this lawsuit against Valve. And we're going to see where it goes. I'm very excited to see where it goes.
Yeah.
I'm really, really hoping.
But how deep does this rabbit hole go, Lex?
Well, so we talked about Valve and how they're making a piece of the pie and how Gabe Newell might actually be an evil person.
Yeah. I mean, it's always been possible.
But...
He's some kind of tech wizard.
Yeah. And that behavior is scummy, certainly.
For sure.
But as I was saying earlier, the fact that he allows third-party sites to take advantage of the situation is perhaps significantly scummier. So then we got the news story from July 4th, which is about those third-party sites. Oh man, that's good.
This is some juicy news right here. So several Counter-Strike YouTubers were revealed to be the owners of a Counter-Strike gambling site that they were actively promoting on their channel.
As if they did not own it.
As if they did not own it. As if they had merely stumbled across this cool website.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I went on, I won a pot of $69. It's not a very big pot, but you know, these guys offered me to, like, sponsor me with weapon skins. Like, I'm pretty much quoting one of these guys.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much a direct quote.
So, like, it's really pretty cool, and, like, you guys should probably check it out. Like, oh, man.
So the two guys we're talking about here are...
Trevor T. Martin.
Ugh. And
cool
Tom Syndicate, I've also heard him referred to as Pro Syndicate, Castle.
I'm sure it's
Cassell.
I'm sure it's Pro Syndicate.
Yeah, I think it's Pro Syndicate.
I'm sure it's Pro Syndicate.
I think it's his YouTube channel is called Pro Syndicate, but his gamer tag might sometimes be Syndicate.
Yeah.
I mean, with gamer tags like that, this is what you expect. Like, come on.
Yeah. If you watch the videos of these guys talking, it's horrendous. It's the worst.
They are just huge dude bros.
I can't listen to them for more than like 30 seconds at a time.
Also, it's funny because you see T. Martin and T. Martin's house. Like, when you see his YouTube videos recorded with his webcam, it's just like, oh, it's a guy at his computer. But if you see his house, he's like he lives in Orlando, Florida, in like this beautiful 3-story house.
Like 3-story open floor house.
He's got like this
giant bay windows.
This crazy nice sports car and stuff. Yeah. I'm like, wow.
You're definitely not up to anything.
Yeah. You know what's also funny about that is Florida was the place that was all of the cocaine dealers would buy those really nice houses, and then all these people like living in luxury there. They're like, no, I'm not doing anything illegal. No. So I think
where am I getting my money? Investments.
Syndicate lives in LA, which is also totally not a place that people who do illegal stuff buy really nice houses and live.
So, Basically, these guys were both promoting this betting website, this Counter-Strike
Which is CSGO Lotto?
Yeah. They were promoting it, and you can watch the videos that show, like, them promoting it, and they're just, it's so, like, ugh.
Yeah,
It just feels gross.
like the quotes Dan gave earlier, where it's like, "Oh yeah, no, we just stumbled on this site.
Really cool website.
I won this small pot yesterday, and I thought, why don't I show it to all my fans how they can win a pot?" And then over the course of that video, he just happens to win $13,000.
He just happens to do it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's almost like they rigged their own website to promote it.
Almost. Now I will point out that there is no evidence right now that they did any rigging
Except
of their
that
website.
It's very obvious that they did.
They probably did. Like the chances are very high that
it's
they
one
did.
of those things where you can't really you don't have like definitive proof of it right now. But
I wouldn't be surprised if during this case proof of that surfaces at some point.
Common sense kind of dictates that something's going on here.
But here's the thing: even if they didn't rig it, it's still highly illegal.
Super illegal.
Because there are huge laws, I mean, even putting aside the gambling thing, but just against promoting sites and not saying that you own them.
And then they made these videos claiming, like, oh, I'm so sorry if we weren't forthright in the fact that we own this website. We were always very upfront that we owned this website.
Except that
when you watch the old videos and they just mention nothing about it. They're like, we found this cool website.
One of the things they even did was they went back and edited the descriptions of the old videos to say that they were associated with the website.
Right.
But because people can use, like, old caches of internet stuff, they can just go back a week and look at what it originally said.
Yeah.
What?
It's just a desperate attempt to cover their asses. That's all it is at this point.
So the guy who uncovered a lot of this, whose name I want to say is Kevin, I could be wrong.
Just Kevin.
I know that his YouTube channel is called Honor the Call, which I think has to do with Call of Duty. He mentions Call of Duty in one of the videos.
Yeah, maybe. Honor the Call, yeah.
Yeah, and he made these two videos that just, like, tear into these two guys.
Yep.
And he did his research. Like, he has screen grabs of, like, the original YouTube video descriptions and then the edited YouTube descriptions.
A lot of information.
He went and he looked up who was the owner of the CSGO Lotto website, like, because it's a business, so it's incorporated, and the people who filed the stuff with it, like, that's all on record. So he found those records and, like, got screen grabs of that, had those in the videos, and he just showed the side-by-side comparisons of their original video when they talked about it, and then the one later where they said, well, we were always upfront about it.
Yeah.
He did a great job with it, so a lot of credit to him. They just keep denying it. It's great. I think more recently they said that they hadn't, at the time that they made the original videos, they did not own the CSGO Lotto site. And then they later owned it.
Yeah.
Because when they originally did the videos, they had just found out about this site, and then when they realized how great a business it was, they decided to invest in it. Like, that's what their more recent post says. But then people were like, no, dude, we looked at the articles of incorporation.
Yeah.
You created the business.
Yeah.
Like, why would you lie about that when the evidence is already out there?
This is just what happened. This is just like what happened with all of those, maybe not all of them, but at least some of the bigger, like, fantasy football sites.
Yeah.
Sites like FanDuel.com and stuff like that. There was a controversy about this a couple of years ago. It was exactly the same, where it was revealed that a bunch of the people who owned FanDuel and these similar websites were actively participating in the betting and making tons of money off of other people in ways that they weren't supposed to be.
Yeah.
Basically. In shady ways. So that's what this strikes me as. It's like the same thing, just with esports instead of real sports or real fantasy sports.
Yeah.
Whatever, I don't know.
Dude, this is more evidence that esports are becoming like real sports.
Yeah, totally.
There was some updates to this story I want to mention real quick. Josh OG Beaver.
I can see why he doesn't use the beaver part in his screen name.
OG Beaver.
OG Beaver.
That'd be better.
That's way better, but then people wouldn't take him seriously.
Yeah, because when you're playing CSGO and you got all these Skittles skins, people gotta take you seriously.
Hey man, nothing better than playing Reaper when your screen name is Happy Buttercup.
So he revealed that he also has he's part of the CS:GO Lotto website, and he too had talked about it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then he's quoted as saying, "It's really not uncommon for a sponsor to have an equity stake." Yeah, but it is uncommon for them not to reveal that they do.
But they revealed that they do.
Yeah, like after
the fact.
After
they got caught for embezzling funds and cheating people.
Yeah. So this is it's pretty bad.
It's not over yet.
No, I'm really excited to see how badly these guys get punished in the lawsuit.
I want them to get torn apart. I want to see it happen so bad.
Because this is...
they just seem like horrible...
And they
seem like such horrible people.
It's so obviously illegal.
Yeah.
So I should also point out, because I think we forgot to mention it earlier, these two guys, T. Martin and Pro Syndicate, between the two of them, they have like 10 million YouTube followers.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
They're pretty big. So they have a big audience that they're doing this with. I'm sure this made them a lot of money. I don't know how that many
people can stand to watch them and listen to them for that long.
Dude, CS:GO players, I don't understand them.
Ugh.
But yeah, and a lot of those people are kids. Just little kids.
I mean, that's true. I mean, look at, I don't think he really does videos anymore. Remember Fred?
No.
On YouTube? You never saw a Fred video?
No, I did not.
Oh, count yourself fortunate. Fred was a guy who was like, I don't know if he was like an older teenager, like 19, or if he was in his early 20s, but he made videos where he basically just ran around and did stupid crap, and he modulated his voice in all of them, so he was really like, "Oh, it's me, Fred!" That's all he did, and he would go and like fall in a swimming pool and scream, and like, it was terrible.
Wow,
it was the worst thing ever, but like 13-year-olds ate that shit up.
Well, yeah.
They were like, Fred's the coolest. We love Fred. Have you seen Fred? Fred's so funny. It's the funniest. Fred got a movie.
Got a movie?
DVD release movie.
Oh my god.
It happened. And then he disappeared into obscurity. But he got a movie.
He probably made some good money off that movie.
Probably. And I think that's the plan. He was like, man, this is stupid. I don't want to do this anymore. I'll just make this movie. And then disappear forever. But that's what it reminds me of. Because, 13-year-olds will put up with anyone who's super obnoxious.
Oh, no.
So yeah, we'll keep you updated on this story. For sure. Because it's very interesting.
Crazy.
In other news, Pokemon Go came out.
That was the other big story this week.
Yeah.
Pokemon Go came out.
Kind of... I don't think there was much news about this beforehand. It just kind of came out. Well, and then people were like, oh, it's live now.
Yeah, I mean, people were sort of in a constant state of hype about it for like a really long time. Yeah. So it's not like that escalated prior to its release.
No, but I feel like it just kind of came out.
Yeah.
There wasn't a big build up to like Pokemon Go coming out in 1 week.
Yeah, okay, so I'll give you an example of how it's like that. With most games, a lot of my gamer friends on social media, specifically Facebook, will be like, "Oh, I'm so excited to go to the midnight release tonight to get this game."
Yeah.
Whereas because this was just an app, it was like no one was saying anything about it, and then the next morning everyone was saying stuff about
it constantly
because it had come out.
Yeah.
And man, people love it.
Yeah,
Most
people love it.
Most people
love it. I've been playing it. I got it on my phone. Caught a Venonat in my room.
Yeah.
It's tried to find a Krabby. Couldn't find the Krabby. He was too far
somewhere
away.
in the wilderness.
It's a neat game. I think it's really, like, the functionality of it is really cool. The fact it's made by the same team that made Ingress, which is the game that uses, like, geomapping data for, like, kind of competitive elements. And it uses all the same geomapping data from Ingress, more or less. So there's lots of detail to it. Pokemon gyms are all over the place. There's one up by the school near my house.
Oh, I didn't know
there's one
up
at the post office down the street from my house.
Oh, that's even closer.
Yeah, it's being controlled by someone with Spearow right now.
What?
I aimed to take it once I'm high enough level.
You're gonna take it.
I'm gonna take it. Venonat's gonna roll up in there like nobody's business.
I believe in your ability to secure the post office down the street from your house. I think you could be the Pokemon champion of your town.
I'm doing it. I'm aiming to do it. So it's cool. It's a neat little game. Like the idea of the core idea of it, where you can walk around and find Pokemon in the real world, is pretty well realized. I would say I think it's cool, and there's different things that show up in the morning and at night. If you go near, there's the beach kind of down the road from my house too. That little beach. And that's like a hot spot in the game.
Oh,
it's
man.
actually marked.
Get a
And you
Tentacruel.
can get like water Pokemon there, and I was like, oh my god, I actually have a place to get water types. This is cool. Like, it's neat.
Yeah, it's
And
great.
you get ghosts up by the school.
Wait, really?
That school's full of Ghastlies, yo.
Oh my god, of course it is.
I got-
Because all schools are haunted.
It was both of our elementary school, actually.
Yeah.
It was full of ghosts.
Elementary school's definitely haunted.
Definitely be rife with ghosts.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's pretty cool. The bike path's got mad Eevees.
Oh,
In case you
yeah.
want an Eevee, man. Like,
Dude, yeah, apparently, because we live in western Massachusetts,
Yeah.
I also saw another person who lives in this area being like, oh my god, so I just caught an Eevee. So I don't know if it's like our area just has more Eevees in
Because
it.
Eevees they're sort of supposed to be typically pretty rare
Yeah.
in Pokemon. So maybe we're just lucky and we're in an Eevee heavy area.
Hmm.
Get all the Eevees.
Oh, you know what? I just realized that me like this game like even more.
Yeah.
Is and where I live even more is like because if we lived in like New York City, we'd never be the head of a gym in New York City.
No. That'd be a mess.
There's way too many people. We'd
Yeah.
never be. There'd always be a bigger fish muscling us out.
I want to go to the sewage treatment plant in the bigger town near us and see if I can catch like a Grimer. Or
Oh man,
something.
or a coughing. Or something.
Or a coughing, yeah.
But here we're in a small town. We could totally rule this town.
Yeah. We run this shit.
Yeah, that'd be great. So for all those people living in like the middle of nowhere playing Pokemon Go, good for you.
Yeah.
You train hard enough, you can be somebody.
You can be somebody. I have seen some problems actually though from people living in rural areas.
Oh.
Because there's areas much more rural than where we live.
Oh, definitely.
And there are some people online saying like, "There's nothing around me."
Oh, there's.
People who live out in the woods and they're literally like, "There's nothing."
I'd be more worried about just general phone connection issues and
That
running
too.
the app.
That too. But even then, there's people who live out and there's no hotspots within like miles of them.
Oh no.
And that sucks.
That does
Like,
suck.
admittedly, that really sucks.
As soon as you find that, I don't know whatever that starter is. If you can find like a Mankey or something, you're gonna have to stick with it.
I'm leveling up a Venonat right now. I never thought I'd do that, but hey, he was tough. He's a tough guy. I caught him and they were like, "This is a strong Venonat," and I was like, "I'm gonna make him stronger. It's gonna win me some battles." I named him Zipper.
So
I named my Eevee Baseball.
so now what I'm wondering, because I have not played this game because I don't
Yes.
have a smartphone, but
only
I do
just
have
recently got one.
but I do have a tablet, so maybe I can get this game.
You may be able to.
I don't really know how any
What's
of
your
this
tablet
works.
run?
It's
Is it like
It's
iOS?
iOS, yeah.
Then you should be able to get it, I think.
Maybe I'll download it right now.
Yeah, see if you can download it.
But I want to know from you, how does battling other players work?
You cannot at the moment directly battle other players.
Okay.
It only happens when you attack a gym, which I haven't done yet because you need to be level 5. And you level up just by catching Pokemon and stuff like that. It seems to me that the way it works is you go to the gym, you have to select your Pokemon, and you battle whatever Pokemon have been left on the gym. More than one player can leave a Pokemon at a gym, and leaving it there basically means you own it. But if your Pokemon is defeated, somebody can take it from you, and they get points. But if your Pokemon wins, you get points. The battle system, it seems like most Pokemon have like 2 moves. They have a weaker move and a stronger move
Okay.
that have damage values, and they have hit point values. And they'll be given a CP rating, which is like combat power,
Okay.
which is kind of an overall idea of how strong they are. So you can catch like a Zubat with a CP of like 10, which means he's like crappy.
Yeah.
He's terrible, like a real Zubat.
You're so bad.
But you might get lucky and catch a Zubat with like a CP of like 45, which means like, oh, that's a good Zubat. You want to keep that one and train it. The other Zubat you can send away to the professor in return for a Zubat candy,
A Zubat
which can be used to level up your other Zubat and evolve him.
I see.
Yes, eventually the candies are used to evolve them. You need like 25 or 50 candies to like evolve Pokemon. So the way you evolve a Pokemon is by catching more of that Pokemon.
Because everyone knows that the way you grow up big and strong is by eating candy.
Eat a ton of candy. Just shovel it down. You can apparently catch evolved Pokemon as well. I saw people talking about trying to catch Goldats and stuff.
Okay.
But I guess they only show up once you're at higher levels, and they're quite difficult to catch.
Well, that makes sense.
You can get better Pokeballs, like Great Balls and Ultra Balls and stuff. And the other way you get Pokeballs is just by finding the hotspots, and you go to them and you spin this little thing around, and it just gives you items. And you might get Pokeballs, you might get incense that attracts Pokemon, things that boost your experience for a limited period of time. You can find Pokemon eggs, which you can then put in an incubator, and there's a certain like distance associated with them. Like I have one for 5 kilometers. So once I have traveled 5 kilometers with the app open, that egg will hatch into some kind of Pokemon.
Oh.
So that's like another way of acquiring them. Which
That's
is pretty
cool,
neat.
yeah.
And there's different grades of eggs. There's 2 kilometer ones. There's 1 kilometer ones, which are like, they're crappy. You'll get something dumb. Like a really basic thing. There's 2 kilometer ones, which it's like you might get something kind of cool, but it'll probably still be a pretty typical Pokemon, maybe a little stronger. The 5 kilometer ones, apparently you can start getting some cool stuff from. Either like a very strong, basic, like kind of common one, or like potentially some rarer types. And then there's 10 kilometer eggs, which apparently you can get like really cool stuff out of. Or just very powerful Pokemon out of. So it's pretty neat. It's definitely a little bare bones right now, but that's because it just came out. Like, it's not even... I should say Niantic, the people who made this game for Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, have said that this version of the game, it hasn't been released in all countries yet, so it's still kind of a rough version. They're working on getting everything up and running right. There have been a lot of server issues over the past few days, where there have been long spans of time where you just can't access the servers for whatever reason. Probably because they're doing maintenance on them or something. And people have been really upset about it, but I feel like there's no point in being upset about it. The game's going to work fine eventually.
It's going to work fine.
Just wait. Like, do what you can now and just wait. There's also only the original 150 Pokemon at the moment. The others are not available yet, but it's the Pokedex lists 250 Pokemon, which would mean the amount that you could get in the second generation games, like Gold and Silver. So it's pretty apparent that there are plans to eventually add the rest of the Pokemon.
There are
basically.
certainly plenty to add.
Yes. There's like 722 now, plus whatever ones are coming out in Sun and Moon,
So
which they've been announcing more for.
It's not like they're going to run out of Pokemon to add to this game anytime soon.
So it's cool. You can nickname your Pokemon just like in the game.
Makes sense.
Like, it's really neat. The biggest complaints I've seen are some people saying it doesn't really feel like Pokemon in some ways, like the battle system and stuff, but I talked about this with you a little bit before the show. That's pretty much a necessity if you're going to be making it a mobile game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a phone game, it's going to be different.
Yeah, the way regular Pokemon works is not very conducive to like a massively multiplayer mobile game experience. They really needed to change it in some ways. And I think for what it is, it's perfectly fine. It works well enough for what it is, and once the servers are more stable, I think it'll be great. And once they start like adding more content to it, there is the pay system. The microtransactions are in it right now. You can pay various dollar amounts to get coins, which you can use to buy items or like stuff. You cannot buy the level up items for the Pokemon.
Oh, that's interesting. I assumed you would be able to buy those.
You can buy Pokeballs and things to help you attract Pokemon, so you have more to catch, and things like that, or things that boost your experience, but you cannot buy the Stardust and candies required to level up and evolve the Pokemon. That you have to work for.
Wow.
And I like that they have made evolving them quite difficult. Like, it's going to take you a lot of work to actually evolve a Pokemon and make it strong, which I think is good, because they want people to be playing this game for a long time. They want people to really be working towards something with each of their Pokemon in this game. So the fact that they've done it that way makes a lot of sense to me. Because they don't want people to just be like, oh, I leveled up all my things, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and this will give it staying power. Right now you're pretty limited in your character customization as well. My character looks like a huge dork and I hate him. But hopefully they'll be adding more options to that at a later date. Because given how many people are playing this, there's not a whole lot of options. You have like 4 options for most things.
You know, it was funny. One of my friends, who's looks like he's kind of a doof. But he posted his Pokemon Go images and it showed what his guy looked like,
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, I mean, that kind of looks like Evan. And I didn't realize that you don't have all these customization options, so I was like, oh, I mean, the avatar just kind of looks like him already, so I guess he was one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
I have now downloaded Pokemon Go. In the time that it took you to talk about Pokemon Go, I've downloaded it.
Now spend $100 on 14,500 Pokecoins.
Look at that big pile of coins.
The big pile of Pokecoins!
Totally worth it.
So there's no trading. There's no battles yet between friends. There's a handsome older man professor.
Oh my god, he's such a silver fox. Look at him.
Look at him. People are real big fans of him. The other complaint I've seen is the game drains your battery pretty fast.
I believe that.
It has a power saver mode where you can turn your device like upside down and it goes into like a dormant mode, and then if a Pokemon gets near you, it goes like and it like buzzes you. But data-wise, it seems like its data usage isn't actually that bad.
Oh,
which is relieving.
Do you think that in the future they will add more trading and?
I would assume so.
Okay.
I would guess that is the case. Because they would. I feel like they'd be completely missing a really huge opportunity to make their fan base happy here by withholding trading and battling against other players.
Yeah.
They've got to add some kind of option for that to it.
Mm-hmm.
And my guess is that it took them. My guess is most of the development that's been done on this game so far has been just getting the core concept of the game working the way they want it to. Because getting this working with all these Pokemon randomly appearing on a giant real-world-based map, having random Pokemon appear and setting up what Pokemon appear where, and how the catching them works, and all that stuff, and even just the gym system and the hotspots and getting all that functioning, that's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're doing this to the entire freaking planet. That's a lot of work. I want to go to Antarctica, get some ice type. It's like a lot to do. So the majority of their dev time has been on that. So it's not surprising to me that it's a little feature bare right now. And I have every confidence that they're going to release more features.
Yeah, because if everyone's playing it, then that means there's definitely a lot of microtransactions going on.
Yeah,
and
I haven't spent any money on it. Probably never will.
And you don't have to, and that's great.
Yeah, but you're gonna get your whales, so to speak.
And just because there's so many people playing it, there's going to be quite a few.
Yeah.
They're probably already making tons of money on this.
Guaranteed. Absolutely guaranteed.
So you know what? Go play Pokemon Go. It's great.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's what I figured it was going to be.
It's what I'm going to do after the show. Let's play Pokemon Go. I'm going to see if I can find any bug types in your room.
See if you can. I found a Paris and a Venonat.
Then I'm going to see if I can find any bug types in my room, because there's also a high
My room is full of bugs in real life.
Also, I want to point out, I just realized, so I have a tablet. It's not mobile enabled. You just have to use it with internet. But I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to walk around outside. And then I remembered, I work at a college, and the entire campus is blanketed in Wi-Fi.
So you just wander around the college.
Yeah.
See what you can catch in that lovely city.
I'm definitely going to find it coughing in there.
Yeah!
It's going to be great.
And probably like something creepy like a Mr. Mime.
Oh no! That's so true.
It'll be down an alleyway. Oh
no.
Terrible.
If I find an Abra, man.
I bet you could find some Ghastlies there too.
I mean, I really want a Ghastly.
Ghastly's cool. Just go up to the school. I guarantee you'll find one.
I wonder if there's any Wi-Fi there. There probably is.
I don't know.
Huh. There probably is.
Yeah.
As long as I can evolve it into Haunter.
Oh yeah, it's not even. It's a little easier to evolve it into Haunter too, actually.
And then not evolve it into Gengar.
Like a true patrician.
I know, because Gengar looks like a tool.
Haunter's so much better than Gengar.
God, his art design is just amazing.
He's so good. So good.
Anyway.
Top tier ghost Pokemon.
Oh yeah. So we've talked about our two major stories for the week.
Yeah. I will say one more thing.
Oh, is there more about Pokemon?
The game doesn't really tell you how to do anything. You kind of have to figure it out, but there are many guides online. So if you get the game and you start it up and you feel kind of lost,
just ask somebody.
Just ask somebody.
Because everybody's playing it.
Or Google it.
You probably know somebody who's playing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Microsoft. What did they do?
Oh my goodness, Microsoft.
Actually, before we talk about this, we should probably talk about The Legend of Zelda, because we were just talking about Nintendo. And we have our voted story.
Our voted story that has to do with
Zelda.
Okay.
So we should probably revise that a little bit.
Okay, sure.
So Legend of Zelda, Nintendo said a few more things about it. the director said that the game is going to feature voice acting. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, that is. The new one. It's going to feature voice acting. That's a big deal for Zelda. No Zelda games had voice acting before.
Yeah,
except
crazy.
for, like, Wand of Gamelon and the Faces of Evil.
Well, excuse me,
CDI.
princess.
So I'm thrilled, based on those, that this game is going to have voice acting. But the director has said, fortunately, in my opinion, that Link will not have voice acting. Link is going to remain a silent protagonist. Good. And he gave the exact right answer for why they did that, which is that if Link says something that the player doesn't agree with, or the player finds annoying or irritating, then why would you want to play as Link? And I think that that's valid. To say, like, if you don't like the character, then it discourages you from playing the game. So by doing this, it leaves the character as just you, as, like, weird elf guy.
It also strikes me as a really interesting way to modernize but still stay traditional in certain aspects of the game. So it's like, okay, well, we're going to do voice acting because all games at this point do voice acting.
Yeah.
But we're not going to, the most important character still staying the same as he's always been.
Yes, exactly. And he has said that there will be parts of it that are still just, like, text dialogue. But for a lot of the bigger moments in the story, there will be voice acting of a sort. Because he said it's easier to make a big impression on the player when you have that additional connection of voice acting. We can only hope the voice acting is good.
We can only hope.
Oh boy! I can't wait to bomb some Dodongos! Link, my boy! Horrible. He also said that there's a bit of a sci-fi element to it. Which we've kind of seen from the previews. There's these strange, like, almost robot-like creatures. And Link has this weird, like, key card thing that opens these bizarre-looking shrines.
Oh,
so there's definitely some kind of interesting post-apocalyptic sci-fi elements going on here. And he said that apparently that is intentional and it's going to be a pretty big part of the game.
Okay, I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll see.
We'll see. If they do it right, it could be really cool.
Yeah.
With this whole... Because the game has a very dystopian feel to it, but I guess not a dark dystopian feel, but this very lonely, empty feel of a world that's kind of fallen apart and is starting to regrow. So that could work out. But anyway, our real story, the story that was voted on by our Patreon backers this week...
Oh my god, this story's so good.
It's pretty good. Is that there is a rumor. There's a Kotaku article from June 20th, actually. It's a bit old at this point, but it's...
Well, because it's from E3.
It's from E3, yeah. The rumor is that somebody tried to steal the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild E3 demo. How do you do that? How do you steal a demo kiosk from E3? With Zelda loaded onto it.
So this is pretty crazy and may not be true. There's actually a good chance that it's not true. But basically...
The rumor stands that...
Yeah, what happened was... Kotaku... So this guy came to Kotaku. He's a 17-year-old hacker. His story was supported by a member of the online Nintendo community whose gamer tag is NWPlayer123. So she was like, yeah, no, I saw him do this. And the unnamed hacker, who was 17, went in there and he was like, all right, I know... I've hacked Nintendo stuff before. I've gotten, like, Mario Kart 8 stuff online. So I know that if I can get onto a Wii U, and if I can get to its browser, then I can make it go to a website which will trick it into, like, connecting generally to, like, this internet server that then remotely I can go onto and harvest data from the system.
Yeah, and take the demo.
Yeah, and take the demo. And he needs to be, like, within some sort of range of the system when he's actually harvesting the data, which is another thing that sounded like, I don't think that's how the internet works.
Sounds like a movie.
It does sound like a movie. You know what movie it sounds like? I watched the first half an hour of the second Ninja Turtles movie,
really?
And that exact thing happens in it really early on.
Did you only watch the first half an hour because it got too bad to continue?
That's correct.
Oh no!
I'll talk about it later. If we do, when we do,
When we do our other thing, yeah.
I'll talk about it then. But no. So, but there's actually a scene like where that exact thing happens, where they're trying to steal something from like Baxter Stockman's laptop, and they have to be close to the laptop just to get the data wirelessly.
So
and I'm like, dude, that's not how. If it's all on one network, like you shouldn't need to be within proximity to it.
Right.
So yeah, this guy was like, okay, so you need to be closer to the console. I just needed to get to the Wii U and then pull up the browser when one of the Nintendo people weren't looking, so I could get to this page. Now, this seems like a pretty difficult task to do.
Yeah.
Because there are, at the booth, there are Nintendo employees everywhere, and there's also just people everywhere
Who want to play the demo?
who want to play the demo and are probably watching you play it.
Yeah.
So if you just stop playing it and open up the Wii U browser, like, someone may be suspicious about that, and someone would definitely see you do it.
And would tell Nintendo, like, hey, this guy's not playing Zelda anymore.
Because if I was behind you in line, you start doing that, I'd be like, dude, I don't care if you're trying to steal this game or not, but I'm waiting for you to play the game and you're not playing the game.
I want to play it.
Yeah. So they tried a couple times and were unfortunately not successful. I think the first day they couldn't get it to work right. The second day they started it, but they couldn't get all the data or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the third day the lines were so long they couldn't actually get into the booth again. So it didn't happen. But it could have been...
Could have been something special.
The Zelda demo could have been online right now.
We could be playing it right now.
If this enterprising young hacker had just been able...
Just been cooler.
If he had just had 30 more seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Or someone to lower him with a rope above the computer.
That's the best part of this Kotaku article.
Is the picture from the top.
Yeah, the banner picture, where someone photoshopped a guy
Mission Impossible style.
lowering down.
Through the lasers to the Triforce.
Yeah.
It's very funny. So whether this story's true or not, it's delightful.
It's good for a laugh.
It's good for a yuck or two.
Yeah.
Even if it's because I kind of don't think it's true. This seems a little too far-fetched to me.
Yeah.
There's a little too much here. I'm just like really?
Yeah, probably.
But I like it anyway. It's still fun. Microsoft. Like I said before, now we're actually going to talk.
Okay, now we're actually going to talk about Microsoft. Now, at E3, and we talked about this on our last episode during our E3 coverage, Microsoft announced their Xbox Play Anywhere initiative. Now, that's a thing where you can buy a game digitally on your Xbox or on your PC, and then you can go and play it on the other thing. You're essentially buying, when you buy one copy of it, you're buying it for both, which is pretty sweet and convenient. It's cool. But when they initially announced it, they were like, and here's the games that are going to be part of this thing. And it was 7 games. And I just thought, oh, well, I mean, that's not very many. And then they more recently announced, I forget when they initially did, I think it was a couple of days ago, they had this post and they were just like, hey, guess what? It's not just these 7 or 12 games or whatever. Now, it's every new title published from Microsoft Studios will support Play Anywhere.
Cool.
And I was like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's what we were gonna report on this week until
today.
Until an Engadget, right? It's
Engadget.
Yeah, an Engadget article from today in which it turns out that Microsoft already amended their blog post announcing the decision. So the amended post says, instead of saying every new title published from Microsoft Studios will support it.
This is so bad.
Yeah, no, it's really bad. The new post says every new title published from Microsoft Studios that we showed on stage at E3 this year will support it.
So the list of games they initially showed.
Yes.
Basically.
It might be a little longer than that.
More or less, though.
But it's not even that they showed at E3, it's that they showed on stage at E3.
Yeah.
Actually, no, then that is just that list of games, because they couldn't possibly have shown more than a dozen.
No, I watched their conference.
Yeah. So no, it's nothing. It's, hopefully they will expand that.
Yeah.
But right now, this initiative went from being oh, that's kind of cool, I guess, to being, oh, that's great, to being, oh no, this isn't that great.
A resounding meh.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know,
it's still
I
a cool
wonder.
idea.
I
Like,
wonder if the initial blog post, or not the initial blog post, but the more recent blog post that just got amended was like a mess up. That they
Yeah.
meant to just be reiterating the information that they gave at E3, and instead they accidentally like weren't specific enough, so it sounded like they were doing way more.
Yeah.
And then everyone reported on that, and they were like, "Oh no, we didn't mean that. No,
Yeah.
it's really just as restrictive as we said initially. Sorry." So I don't know, but Phil Spencer, he's trying. He's trying.
We have a little story about how Sony's been in a 6-year lawsuit dispute with people who were using Linux on the PS3
Oh,
because they removed that functionality a very long time ago now from the PS3, and a lot of people were like, "No, I want to use my Linux," and they sued them for just like removing it, basically.
What?
And it seems as though Sony is maybe gonna actually have to pay out to these people.
why?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
I think they're just doing it to settle the dispute
Okay.
because they'd be giving each person $55.
Oh yeah, they might as well just do it then.
Yeah. It's including owners who used the Other OS feature to install Linux on their original model PS3 systems prior to Sony removing the feature, meaning anywhere from 2006 to April 2010.
Oh, so there was another OS feature on it. I didn't think there. I didn't
it was
realize that
very
they did
short-lived.
that.
It was very short-lived.
Okay.
Claimants must attest under oath to their purchase of the product and installation of Linux, provide proof of purchase or serial number, and PSN sign-in ID, and some proof of their use of the Other OS functionality.
See, that's interesting because I have heard about people doing like modding older consoles so
Yeah.
that they basically work like emulators for
Yeah.
other consoles. Like, I'm constantly thinking about like, should I take my original Xbox and just like throw a bunch of emulators on it?
Yeah,
And
you
then-
can turn like a PSP into a PlayStation 1 emulator.
That's pretty sweet.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So stuff like that's totally possible.
So I assumed that when you first were talking
Yeah.
about the story that it was somebody doing that, and then I was
No.
like, you can't sue over that. That doesn't make
it's
any
actually
sense.
like a function that the system had
Oh man.
for a while. So you can get $55 if you can prove all that. You can get $9 if you can prove your knowledge of or intention to use Linux on the PS3 console during that period. So if you can prove that you were like, I was gonna do it,
You get $9.
$9.
That's
You get
pretty-
yourself a nice lunch.
Yeah. I might do that.
Just try to see if you can do it. Like, the important thing is here, you need to be able to prove that you owned an original model PS3.
Yeah.
Because it only exists on those. Like, I never owned an original model PS3. So I could.
You only got like the God of War edition PS3.
Yeah, my favorite.
Yeah.
Mighty Number 9 came out June 21st, so a few weeks ago now. Kind of a rough launch day, which I believe was expected. Everyone I've seen talking about it is basically like, it's fine, the game's okay, it's not amazing.
Can you make your enemies cry like an anime fan on prom
You
night?
can. Yes.
You can do that?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Apparently.
Are there pizza explosions everywhere?
Yes.
Good.
That I can say with absolute certainty.
They did not change. They did not upgrade the graphics after that.
There's been
embarrassing
problems all over the
commercial.
place. The Wii U version has freeze issues. Downloadable content has been breaking the game.
Oh no.
Some DLC codes just aren't working. The Xbox 360 version was delayed several days. Like, it wasn't a clean launch.
No.
In spite of all the prior delays. And you know, it came out, it wasn't a very clean launch, but people said the game was largely fine. But I will say, I haven't heard anybody still talking about it.
I mean, I never heard anybody talk about it, period.
I heard people talking about it right when it first came out.
Oh.
Like I was reading stuff, but it seems to me that it's pretty much fallen away already. People have kind of just moved on. Yeah. The critical reception's been pretty, like, mixed on it. So Mighty Number 9 still not great. Blizzard is suing German company Bossland which is best known for creating the Watchover Tyrant cheat tool that is being used in Overwatch.
Oh.
So Blizzard is basically suing this company, saying that they have caused irreparable damage to their own company, and they're specifically doing it over this Overwatch cheat tool. So Blizzard continuing to fight against all forms of cheating in Overwatch.
Well,
Cool.
They said they were gonna.
So it's good to see that continuing.
Yeah.
I like it.
So do you want to jump? Do you want to... Yeah, we can skip over that.
Okay.
Maybe we can talk about it next week or something. So yeah, do you want to just talk about upcoming games?
Yeah, or recent releases too. Because a lot of stuff actually released while I was in Japan.
And we did actually spend a good portion of the show talking about recent releases, because we just talked about Mighty Number 9.
Mighty Number 9 is one of them. Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Sharp FE, I hate that game's name. It's the Fire Emblem Shin Megami Tensei crossover. It looks stupid. I watched the ending of it, it was dumb. God Eater Resurrection.
Oh, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven.
For the PS4 only.
Yo.
That's PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, Lego Star Wars Force Awakens came out. Terraria came out on Wii U. Zero Time Dilemma, the newest game in the series of like 999 and Virtue's Last Reward, which is a pretty cool little series on the Vita and the 3DS.
Crypt of the Necrodancer came out for iOS. I strongly recommend picking that up. That game's tons of fun. I actually feel like that would be better on mobile than it would be on PC.
You think? I haven't checked it out yet.
Because the controls are really just moving back, forth, up and down. There really isn't anything else to them.
Yeah.
So they would work really well on an iOS, I think.
Banner Saga 2 came to Xbox One.
Oh man.
Mega Dimension Neptunia 7 on the PC.
Thank goodness.
Then Banner Saga 2 came to PS4.
All those console releases.
Inside came out yesterday.
Oh,
that
that
little indie game by the people who made Limbo.
Yeah.
I've heard it's really good.
I have heard that too.
I heard
Well,
very high praise for it, and I really want to check it out.
because I mean, it seemed I heard a lot of high praise for Limbo, and I've heard
Limbo's
people,
cool.
yeah, and I've heard people saying like this is cool, like Limbo, and I'm
Yeah.
like, awesome.
I've heard most people saying that it is a real step above Limbo.
Oh, really?
There's a lot more plot to it, kind of.
Nice.
There's a lot more going on with it, and there's some real twists and turns going on in that game, and shocking moments. So I'm definitely going to check that out.
Now, what came out today? Today's the 8th, so we had Carmageddon Max Damage.
Yeah!
Whatever. Hawken came out for PS4. Hawken is a lot of fun.
Which also came out on Xbox One a week ago.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah.
I'm glad this getting a console. I'm surprised it took them that long to do a console
Seriously.
release.
So that's neat. It's a mecha game.
Yeah.
Upcoming, we have Ghostbusters. Is that the new Ghostbusters?
I didn't know they were making a tie-in game for that, but
totally
they are.
is.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
There's like no information on it, so
Nope.
it's weird that it comes out
on the
next
12th.
week. Yeah.
Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme versus Force
For the Vita.
for the Vita.
I
Necropolis.
don't know what Necropolis is.
No one knows what Necropolis
It's an
is.
action role-playing game developed by Harebrained Schemes. Well, I mean, I know who they
An
are.
archmage named Abraxas travels to a secret underground tomb to practice magic far from civilization.
Well, it sounds cool, I guess. But that's like literally all it says about it on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It's just that.
That Song of the Deep game.
Oh,
by
cool! That's
Insomniac
coming
is
out.
on the
Nice.
12th.
The game that is made by Insomniac and published by GameStop.
Oh, I'm so happy! PC version of my favorite Japanese fighting game comes out. Under Night in Birth EXE Late. I love that name.
Finally, we can play it on PC.
That is the most Japanese bullshit name in the universe, and I love it.
What's Video Ball? Video Ball's coming out on the 12th. It's coming out for everything.
In all seriousness, though, if you're looking for a good like pixel fighter, like 2D fighting game, Under Night in Birth is actually a really good game. Despite its really stupid title, like the game is good. Video Ball is a weird ball game.
Most dumb. Right.
And next Friday, I won't be here at the podcast because I'm going to be playing Monster Hunter Generations all day long
For the 3DS.
for the 3DS. So if you're a Monster Hunter fan, hit me up. I don't know what my character name is yet, but I'll tell you.
It'd probably be like, I don't know, Something like Happy
It's all
Buttercup.
over. I don't know. It's all over the place. I named my
really?
character Meat in one of them.
Oh, that's weird.
Named my character like Duck Pillar in one of them.
Okay.
Snoop Dogg. If I play a female character, I always name her Snoop Dogg.
Well, obviously. Duh.
So it's different. It's all over the place. That's about it, though.
Yeah, so that's all the news we had time for this week.
Yes.
We will be coming at you next week on Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On www.chipbit.net. You can check out our show archive there, or you can check it out on iTunes. You can also check us out on some kinds of social media, such as Twitter, Facebook, Steam, and YouTube. Oh, we also have a show archive on YouTube.
Yes.
You can, if you like the show and you'd like to support it, please check us out on Patreon. We'd super appreciate it. We got all sorts of fun reward tiers, and if we can get a little more money, we will be starting a Twitch channel.
We will play video games on Twitch.
We'll play some Pistol Daimyo.
You can see how bad we are at it.
Oh man, I've already got the webcams for it.
I'll stream Overwatch, and you can all be like, "Wow, Dan, you're terrible at Overwatch," and I'll be like, "But I'm having fun."
Oh my gosh, I forgot about my most amazing Overwatch story.
Oh, yeah?
I retweeted this. I'm going to end the show with this because it's pretty quick.
Go for it. We're over time anyway, so whatever.
This is something we...
Sorry, James.
We retweeted this a couple days ago, and it was something that... I don't know who posted it initially, but it was like on a Reddit forum, and... Someone took a screen cap of it, and I know that Dodger retweeted it, and that's where I saw it from. But it was just this guy, and he was telling the story about it. He was like, okay, so I was playing Overwatch, and whoever was playing the samurai guy, or like some character, we lost. I think it was Genji.
Ninja robot?
Yeah, Ryu. Or Raiden, sorry.
Raiden.
Yeah, Raiden.
Yeah, he is Raiden. He's literally Raiden.
I was playing that, and we lost like 3 matches in a row, and there was this one guy who like kept picking like Genji,
even if he shouldn't have been.
Yeah, and I was just getting really upset. So at the end of the match, we're in the lobby, and there's like voice chatting stuff going on, and I hear the person who was picking that, and it's like this like 10-year-old kid, and he's just like.
He loves Genji.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know if I'm very good as Genji. Maybe I should pick somebody else. And the guy writes about how he realized in that moment, he was like, that could be my kid who's just trying to play this game for the first time.
And he just really thinks Genji's cool.
Yeah, he's just picking a character he thinks is cool, and he's trying it out. And like
Genji's pretty hard to play as too. So if you're like a kid. Like, he's difficult.
Just like Raiden is hard to actually be an interesting character. It's very similar.
He did okay in Metal Gear Rising.
But no, so the guy had this moment where he's like, I was about to yell at him, and then I realized like what was going on, and I was like, I should be nice to this kid. And then I helped him, and I made some character suggestions, and he went on to like do better with some other characters, and we won some matches.
Good for him.
And I was like, oh my god.
It's a heartwarming story.
Yeah, it's a story of people coming together,
and being
gaming
nice
on the internet, and being nice, and then it working out for everyone.
That's great.
Which is what we all should do.
That's a delight. Overwatch, you're a treat.
That's the moral of the story, is just be nice.
If you're losing, just switch to Reaper.
Exactly.
It's fun.
Exactly.
It's fun to be an edgelord sometimes. I learned that because we were losing a game really hard, and I just switched to Reaper, and then we won. And I was like, oh, maybe I kind of like playing as Reaper. Uh-oh.
All right, well, that is definitely it for our show.
Yeah.
So tune in next week, and until then, remember, don't copy that floppy.